Hey, we're here with Kevin from Walker Wealth Management, and tell us about it. What is Walker Wealth Management?
Well, it's a firm I started around 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
I've been in the financial advising business for around 16 years. I've been with a lot of different companies, a lot of great companies, but I started looking at what I was charging my clients and the kind of service they were getting versus if I went independent.
Yeah.
And I could charge less and give my clients more. And so a few years ago, I decided to open up Walker Wealth Management and do that. So, it's, like I said, I'm an independent financial advisor. Okay. So, there's companies out there. I don't want to name companies, but you go to a company, there's some big ones out there. You're typically going to be buying their mutual funds. It's going to be, XYZ mutual fund company, and it's their company.
Yeah.
So
right.
As an independent advisor, I can, determine what funds work the best for my clients and not necessarily what works best
and
for
so
the company.
As a client, I wouldn't have to feel like you're trying to sell me on something that is working for you versus working for me.
That's exactly it.
That seems like it's a real benefit. I mean, a real, for you to be able to offer that.
Yeah, right. And then there's no sales quotas. There's no, numbers I have to hit. It's just, I open my business and do what's right for the clients, and long term, it works out for me. Can
I ask what kind of clients do you have? Like what, is there a certain amount of money somebody needs to have to start working with you, or?
So, yes and no. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that there's a route for younger people to invest. A lot of times, advisors are thinking bigger and bigger. It's $250,000, it's $500,000, it's $1 million. And there's, get to a point where there's a certain amount of time constraint that you have. You can't manage, 500 clients as well as you can manage 200 clients. And so you have to start, regulating how much, assets to make sure everyone gets taken care of. However, with that said, if I have a serious long-term investor that is willing to, follow my advice and do the work, because it is work. Both sides have to do work on this to make it work out. I'll take anybody of any asset size. Otherwise,
well, let me ask you, how do you know? How do you know if it's somebody who is going to do that work?
Yeah, well, so I do provide them with a fact finder. There's a whole bunch of pages.
Okay.
And the more filled out it is when they come back.
And that's fact for you mostly, just find out where their heads are at, what they know about investing.
Well, it's not about it's really just trying to get to know them as a person. Okay. And so I get it. I can go through it. It talks about how old they are, how where they work. How many, do they have kids? Do they have, are they married, divorced, widowed? It just gives me all their background information. Then also starts talking into, debt, how much debt are they in? What kind of rates do they have? And so it's a pretty complex piece. And
can I ask, will it make sense to have this on the website, like up front there?
Yeah, that probably would make sense to have it there so people could download it and just fill it out online and prep for the.
And and I don't know if it's how you work. Like it's better to sort of meet the person first and then do it, or just if it's cool just to get it from them. Maybe then it should.
It's not proprietary stuff, so I mean, it's if they want to download it and fill it out, that's great.
Okay,
that's a good idea.
And does it kind of get back to the kind of people you work with? Do they have to have sort of a head for investing, or could it be like somebody's like, dude, I've never done this. I'm not really sure what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, if I got all kinds. I've got people that, I had a gentleman today that, hey, he wants, numbers from the last, 5 years, and he wants graphs. He wants everything. He wants
That'd
to analyze.
For me.
Right. He wants to analyze every single investment.
Yeah.
And determine, does that make sense? I recently purchased a practice, and so I'm kind of, getting to know those clients a little bit and how they work. And but then I've got people that just, hey, this is not my area of expertise. You tell me what we need to do, and we'll make sure that you help us follow that plan.
Okay.
And let's go.
Okay.
I explain it's like, you had a gentleman in here that I know, Dan. Personally. Yeah, Dan, great guy, and we talk back and forth, and he's very handy, and I am not. So I'm not the type of person where, if he's over fixing something, I'm not looking over and asking him,
I hear you.
should you do that? Should you do that? 'Cause I have no business being in there.
Yeah.
So, but whatever the client wants. I mean, if the client really wants a really detailed, that they can look at the investments and determine if they want to switch it or not, that's fine. But I also feel, that's kind of what you're paying me for too. So I don't know if that helped.
No,
at all,
that
or
makes
I
sense. It's
talked
like,
my way
no,
through it.
that makes a lot of sense. So,
Yeah.
Gives a good idea of everybody you handle. So, well, Kevin, thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.